Hi everybody, welcome to another House of Strikes, the only talk show that discusses the third strike scene. Of course with me, Frankie 3S, and in place of Nica KO, we have our wonderful producer, and he is the best necro player ever, so please give it up for Mutant XP.
Alright, thanks for that awesome intro, Frank.
Thank you.
I'm glad to be doing the show with you.
You're very much welcome. I'm very excited to have you on the show finally, because I think people are missing out on seeing our lovely producer's face.
Oh, thank you.
I think you bring a presence.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
So go for it.
Yeah, and you know, maybe we'll have some fun this time around, because certain people aren't here. You know, I'm not going to mention any names. Incidentally, Nica KO is up in Massachusetts
He's
right
up.
now.
He's up there in the boonies, teaching people why they suck at third strike. So shout outs for Lloyd.
Yes, and maybe we'll check in on him later in the show, right?
Perhaps if he picks up his phone.
Okay. So just a brief rundown of what we got going tonight on the House of Strikes. So as some of you may know, our special guest for tonight will be none other than the president.
El Presidente.
El Presidente. Ahmed Montaña.
Ahmed.
Right? He's probably the strongest, one of the strongest, if not the strongest chun on the East Coast.
I would say the strongest.
Yeah. And but what makes this guy really special is what? I mean, his chun is great, but
His chun is great. His tongue is even better.
yes. No homo.
No homo. He has a sharp tongue.
Yes.
And he knows how to get into people's cerebellum. He can talk that shit.
Yes, he is the #1 player hater.
Number one,
And-
without a doubt.
And if you guys thought that the stuff Frankie had to say in the last 3 episodes was bad,
I was simply taking footnotes.
No.
That is the Bible of Ahmed's book of shit talk.
yeah, I mean, you
You
know,
haven't
yes.
heard anything yet.
Yeah, Frankie's shit talk is like Spark Notes.
The Spark Notes
Yes.
and
Ahmed is the real thing.
is like the New York Public Library.
Yeah. So, let's go ahead and get started, huh?
Absolutely. So, as everybody knows, the next big Third Strike event is going down at Summer Jam 9. And thanks to the generous support of Big E and Tony Majors, there are going to be a singles and a team tournament run entirely on head-to-head Astro City cabs. And if that's not enough, of course, you have us, the Fight Club crew, coming down for another Fight Club 4. And the main event is going to be Ahmed versus EXO in a 1-to-5 for $100.
Yeah, for the last couple weeks, there's been a lot of shit talk between the two players.
Many a shit talk.
So emotions will be running really high for this match. So, you know, we know who Ahmed's going to use, right? But EXO uses a bunch of other characters.
Yeah.
And so our first question of the night is, who should Exodus use
EXO.
against Ahmed?
And you
during
saw
the main event?
You saw in that clip he has 4 characters under his under his highlight clip. He is a jump off. He loves playing all the cheap characters. Out of all of them though, I think he has to go with Yun. I think EXO's Yun is his best character. I think it's the best matchup out of all the characters that he has. Everybody has a tendency to counterpick Chun-Li with Yun. And I think Dudley can get out-turtled. And even though Ahmed doesn't play a turtle style, if you allow him to out-turtle you, then you're in a world of trouble. Because Ahmed is best going forward. So if you give him the confidence that he can out-turtle you, which can happen with Dudley, I think it's a bad look. I think Kang is going to have to use Yun because Yun could out-turtle Chun-Li if he's so inclined to use that particular playstyle. He has that option. But if he picks Dudley, he has to keep on continuously moving forward. He has to keep attacking. And I think when you attack, you give Ahmed a chance to parry. And if he can start getting his groove on, if he can start parrying things, then you're going to eat supers. That's just like how his playstyle goes. So I think he has to go with Yun. If he picks anybody else, he's going to get washed up.
Wow.
Washed up. It's going to be fucking horrible. If he picks anybody else, he has to go with Yun. Because Yun is cheap. Because you can go brain dead at certain moments. And you know what I mean? It's easier to rush down with Yun than it is with Chun-Li. You get more out of a parry. You know, with the hitboxes and shit, not everything hits the way it's supposed to against Chun-Li with Dudley. But Yun, you get like max damage every time. I just think he can't go with Dudley because he's going to get shitted on. Yeah, I think Ahmed agrees.
Well, you know, we're going to get Ahmed's thoughts on this match later on in the show.
But I think he's going to Summer Jam with the mindset that, he's going to pick Yun. I think he's practicing against Yun. I think so.
Well, Ahmed's practicing against Yun?
If he is practicing at all, it's going to be against Yun. I think he's like mentally preparing himself to play Yun 1-to-5.
All right. So
can EXO switch?
Oh, that's what I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
So we're gonna do something a little bit different for Fight Club 4. And so again, as we mentioned, Fight Club 4 is set to go down to Summer Jam 9, August 28th through 30th.
Yep.
And what we're gonna do for this Fight Club is we're gonna make a character lock. Because me and
that.
Lloyd decided, you know, stick to your shit.
I love that idea.
Give your opponents time to actually research, work on the matchup. Because, you know, again,
It's proper.
the whole point of doing the fight cards was to show off high-level Third Strike. And when players have time to research the matchup, research the players, then they come prepared.
Everything looks a bit cleaner.
Yeah.
You know, and
Well, hopefully that's what we were planning for.
that is the theory.
So number one, remember that Fight Club is a character lock.
Okay.
So if EXO does use Yun, he has to use them all the way through.
Yep.
And also, number two, it's first to 5. Okay, so EXO and Ahmed have to win 5 matches, as opposed to the other matches, which would be first to 3, most of them.
Yep.
So basically, you know, I understand your argument, Frankie. I think, you know, you're arguing it from like a technical standpoint. Like basically your answer of who EXO should use against Ahmed is basically like you're answering the question of who does EXO have, who should EXO use to have the best chance at beating Ahmed, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, that's what your answer is geared toward.
Yeah, that's how I tackle most of my answers.
But my answer is a little different because, like we were saying earlier, there's been a lot of shit talk between Ahmed and EXO. I mean, they have been going in. You know, Ahmed's telling EXO he's washed up, you know, he's old, he's irrelevant. EXO saying that Ahmed hasn't learned shit in 10 years, you know, like he plays like it's still 2009.
He's a baby.
You know, he's a baby, and EXO can beat him with any character. And so
There has been a lot of shit talk.
So my opinion is that I think EXO should use Dudley because of these reasons. Number one, I think it has nothing to do with, you know, what character gives EXO a better chance to win. Because when you talk shit, you set yourself up, right? Mm-hmm. Like when you call somebody free and then you get to the money match and it's not free, even if you win, right, you still win.
You lose face a little bit.
You do lose a little bit of face.
You lose a little bit of face.
Right? So if EXO really thinks it's free, and he's told numerous people that it's going to be free.
And people outside of New York definitely believe that.
Yeah.
You know, they believe what EXO says. They think it's going to be free. They don't understand.
And so if EXO really thinks it's going to be free, then use a character that has the worst matchup against Chun, which is Dudley. Which, like, personally, again, this is where, like, matchups don't really pan out, because I don't really think the Dudley matchup is that bad for Chun.
It's not, but people bitch about it a lot. Dudley players complain about the matchup.
Like, from a purely technical standpoint, I think Dudley would work good against Ahmed's Chun, because remember, Ahmed's Chun is not like anybody else's
He moves
Chun.
forward a lot.
Yes.
He likes to attack.
Like, you know how you're
He moves
supposed to
forward a
use
lot.
Chun like a tank? Like, Ahmed uses Chun like a bulldozer. You know what I mean? Like, he just moves and moves and moves, and he's intimidating.
Yep.
And so when you do that, like you said before in your point, right, you set yourself up to get knocked down, 50-50s, then who knows what's going to happen. It's a crapshoot. So but that's not the reason why I think EXO should use Dudley. The reason EXO should use Dudley is if he really thinks that Ahmed is that free, then back up your shit.
Right.
Use Dudley. 5-0 him. 5-1 him. Right? Take this supposedly bad matchup and show just how dominant, how much better of a player you are. EXO even said that he would let Ahmed choose his character.
Now, them fighting words.
I mean, that's right.
Them fighting words.
Those are fighting words.
I don't know if you've ever been in an arcade, but that's probably the lowest you can go. You tell somebody, "Hey, pick my character."
Yeah, you walk
and
away
I'll
from the cap. And
you like pick my character, and I'll fuck you up with whoever you want.
Whoever you want. I'll close my eyes. You pick.
And we've done it before.
Yeah.
I know. I've played Sean against all these like people think you know that they're good, and that shit. That's me. That's the ultimate form of disrespect, other than sleeping with somebody's mom. That's like the second thing. You tell them, yo, pick my character.
Depending on what kind of relationship you have with your mom.
That's true. It could.
Right, if your mom's a bitch, you know.
We don't want to go there.
No, we don't want to go there.
We don't want to hurt some feelings.
No. But anyway, so yeah, I think EXO should use Dudley. Because if EXO really thinks Ahmed is that free, go ahead. Use Dudley. Prove your point. Show how free Ahmed really is. Use Dudley.
Sure.
You know?
I think, like, tackling it from a technical, perspective, he has to go with Yun. If he has any chance of, like, really... I think Yun gives him the best chance of rolling over Ahmed. because of the character.
Well, who do you think is EXO's best character?
I think it's Yun.
Well, let's set it up for the people who don't know much about EXO.
Right.
So EXO basically uses Yun, Ken, and Dudley.
Dudley, right?
You know, he flirts with he kind of has a pocket urien, but it's ass. So it's basically Ken.
He has a cute Hugo. It's like adorable. It's
garbage.
It's
Ken, your Hugo is garbage. Okay, okay. I'm gonna say it right now. Your Hugo is garbage.
Footnote.
Your Hugo is garbage. Your urien is garbage.
So effectively, he has 3 characters.
So 3 characters. So it's Chun, Ken, and again for those of you who are new to the Third Strike scene and only know Kang as the Jon Snow of Fightcade, Kang was a big arcade player. He always entered SBO quals, and the person he ran with was mainly Ken.
You're right. He picked Ken a lot.
So
he tried that shit against me. It didn't work.
Yeah, and he tried that shit against Lloyd too, and that didn't work.
It didn't work.
So I don't know. I mean,
it's just historic.
Who do you think is his best character?
I think his best character is Dudley. Honestly.
So then why don't you pick Dudley?
Because I think every time I see Kang struggle against Chun-Li, he runs to Yun. I think, and he tends to do well, better than he would with Dudley. I just think it's
but
like.
Do you think his Yun could beat Ahmed's Chun?
Yeah, I think it has a chance, more of a chance than his Dudley. His Dudley's pretty fucking random.
See, that's the thing.
I don't think random does well against Ahmed.
Like, my answer is not. I don't give a shit who wins. Basically, okay.
I don't either. But I'm telling. Look, if it was Adam's Chun-Li, I would be like EXO pick Dudley because Adam's gonna let you jump in a lot more than Ahmed would. He's not as active as a player. You know what I mean? Like as a Chun-Li player, he's not that active. He prefers the turtle. You know what I mean? Kang's going to be jumping at Ahmed, giving him opportunities to gain momentum. It's different. I think Adam could get randomed out by Dudley a lot easier than he would by Yun. But, look, I think his Dudley is probably his most polished character because he's been playing him a lot lately.
Even though he can't do hit confirm.
Even though he can't hit confirm for shit, and every time he parries roundhouse, it goes to normal
we love you,
gun.
Kang.
Except EX1, motherfucker, arthritis, get that shit right. But, again, I think his Dudley is ass. Like it's not good enough to beat Ahmed's Chun.
Really?
No, I think he needs to go with Yun because, like I said, the matchup is simpler that way.
I mean, if the question was who does he have the best chance,
I would say Yun.
I would say Ken.
Ken?
Yeah, I would say Ken. If the question was who should EXO use to have the best chance at beating Ahmed, I would say Ken.
Ken.
But again, that's not the reason why I'm picking Dudley. I'm picking Dudley because
of what Kang said.
He's saying it's free.
He's saying it's free.
So it's free.
Okay.
So I guess just to summarize our points, Frankie.
I think just as a quick summary, I think Dudley is probably Kang's most polished character, but he should go with Yun from a technical standpoint because it gives him the best chance to win the match. Because he has a lot of experience against Chun with Yun. Because back when Justin was playing a lot, EXO wouldn't pick any other character except for Yun on Justin. And even though it didn't prove successful any of the time, he wasn't picking Ken against it. You know what I mean? He wasn't playing Dudley at that point. I doubt he'd play Dudley against a top-notch Chun-Li like that.
No.
So I'm just saying from historically, he picks Yun against Chun-Li. So that's what I think he's gonna feel most comfortable doing.
All right. So bottom line, Kang, if you want to win, Frankie thinks you should use Yun. If you want to prove a point, I think you should use Dudley. Right? All right. So let's go ahead and move on to our next topic.
Sure. Well, Ahmed versus Exodus is not going to be the only match of the night, obviously. As always, we have a very cerebral and a very intricately planned fight card to entertain you guys. Now, over the next couple weeks, we're going to be revealing more matchups, but in the meantime, we'd like to focus on 2 matches with 2 different players that's going to be making their Strike Fight Club debut. First is the Canadian phenom Carson, who surprised everybody with his solid play during Fight Club 2 team tournament. And he's going to be taking on the TGA legend himself, Gavin, in a 1-3 Chun mirror match. Now, Gavin played like unadulterated ass last Fight Club, so he's going to be looking to make a statement. He's going to be looking to spoil Carson's debut. Now, another player that's set to make his first singles appearance on the fight card at Fight Club period is going to be diaperbomb. Now, diaperbomb, in case anybody, those who are unfamiliar with him, he played in Pennsylvania, Doylestown, and he learned playing from Therapist, Danka, and Flair. he's a part of that. He's probably one of the stronger players in PA, and he's looking again to make his debut against none other than my favorite Hispanic Jap. That's my guy.
That's your guy?
That's my guy.
That's your boy?
That's my nigga. And he's going to be making his fight card debut against my nigga, who also had a really shitty showing at Fight Club. That's my guy. Look at him. Now, that's my fucking guy. He's going to be making his fight card debut against this guy, Hispanic Jab versus Diaperbomb. Is gonna prove to be two exciting matchups. But who do you think is more likely to win their debut match?
All right. So basically, the question is, who's more likely to win their debut, right? Carson or
Diaperbomb. Carson plays with Chun-Li, Diaperbomb with Alex.
This is probably one of the toughest questions we've had on House of Strikes.
Oh man, I was I was on the shitter. Like,
Right?
I swear to God, when you asked me, I was taking a shit and I was on the toilet for 30 minutes, really thinking about who has a better chance to win.
Yeah.
And it was appropriate that I was on the shit. I was in the shitter because these motherfuckers played like shit last time.
Right.
So it was very appropriate. But, so who do you think?
Like I said, this is one of the toughest questions we've had on the show.
Absolutely.
When me and Lloyd were putting together the fight card, these are two matches that we definitely, wanted to put together. First and foremost, one of the reasons we wanted to put Carson and Gavin together is because, we haven't seen two Asians who use chun in the mirror, right?
And that's classic. That's classic Third Strike. You think about Third Strike in America, it's two Asian Americans playing with Chun-Li.
And they're so solid, both of them.
Right. They both play like Asians would play.
Yeah.
Very calculated.
And so I really think that's going to be a really good match. And then with Diaperbomb and Hispanic Jab, we chose that matchup for the completely opposite reasons that we chose Carson and Gavin. Because we know Carson and Gavin's going to be super solid, super technical, super methodical, and Hispanic Jab and Diaperbomb will be like a fucking
shit show.
Yeah, it'll be like a roller derby. I mean, it's right. It's going to be Jungle Strike.
It's going to be when you put Mentos in Diet Coke. That's what that match is gonna be. It's gonna be fucking mayhem. You're not gonna know what's happening.
And so I'm gonna go. Despite the fact that Carson's really solid and he plays kind of like a chi really light, I'm gonna go with Diaperbomb. I think Diaperbomb has because you got to think about. There's a lot of factors you got to think about in answering this question, right? So number one, you got to think about the person's opponent, right? And number two, you got to think about the person's skill level and then the matchup. And then whether their play styles mesh. Yep. I just think Gavin can out. I don't even think it's a matter of who can be more solid in the Carson versus Gavin matchup. I think Gavin's got more tricks. I think Gavin's got more experience. I think Gavin will be able to pull it out against Carson. I think it'll be close actually. But with Diaperbomb and Hispanic Jab, I mean, you're my boy too, Kill. I mean, and I'm happy that you're coming out.
Yeah, I'm fucking excited.
Thank you so much for coming out. We need that star power, man. We need his name to come out to Fight Club. And as much as I hope you win, I just don't know if I think Diaperbomb's going to be hungry. I think he's going to come in and because. Diaperbomb, okay, let's get this one thing straight, okay? No one's ever going to mistaken Diaperbomb for a technical marvel, all right?
Right.
Like, his execution, there's very few people who have worse execution than I do. Right? Anybody that knows me knows my execution is really bad.
Arthritic.
Right? Like, I can't even do a fireball sometimes, on a good day.
He struggles.
On second player, right?
He struggles.
But Diaperbomb's execution is not that great, but this guy, he learned the game with arguably way better players than Hispanic Jap did.
Sure.
Right? He grinded with Flair, Therapist, Donka, okay? So
he's probably always been the weakest player.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and that's not to say anything about, if anything, it kind of, it puts the other players that he's playing with on a pedestal, if anything. I'm not trying to knock Diaperbomb, but the players he played with were really good as far as the East Coast American Third Strike is concerned. So he's always played with that kind of chip on his shoulder.
And he's using Alex. Okay.
Against, Hispanic Jap's already confirmed to play Makoto, right?
Yes.
Right. With that said, that's one of the main reasons why I think it's flip flop. It's the other way. I think Carson has a better chance to beat Gavin, because I think, well, Diaperbomb, he doesn't seem like he's been relatively active in the game. Like he hasn't been playing as much as he used to, and as a result, that coupled with the fact that he's facing a 7-3 matchup at best, is going to be a really tall hill for him to climb. And Hispanic Jap, because he played like such shit last time, is going to be playing with a chip on his shoulder. And the difference between Hispanic Jap playing with a chip on his shoulder and Gavin, because Gavin's going to come hungry too, is that Hispanic Jap at the end of the day doesn't have to look at another hydrogen bomb opposed to him. That's the difference. It's like if, Gavin has to be careful at all times because Carson's playing with Chun-Li too. And, that matchup, that's a matchup of inches. You know what I mean? It's like 1 inch that you're giving up here equals that you're eating a low forward super or a far fierce, and you lose the round. Whereas Hispanic Jab is going to have all the momentum on his side. He has Makoto. She could be fucking brain dead. And this is one of the matchups where she's given that opportunity to be brain dead. Because Alex is basically a Makoto with an extra chromosome. That's exactly what Alex is. He sucks. He's not, like, he fails to execute Makoto's game plan that she constantly executes. She lands the command though, she ends the round. That's what Alex hopes to be. That's what he aspires to be. It's a 7-3 matchup, and I think it's going to show when Hispanic Jap, my nigga. Hispanic Jap, that's my boy. I'm hard on you, but you my boy, son. I want to see you win, and I think he is going to win. Matchup, pretty much just based on the matchup. You can see where I'm going with all my predictions. They're all technical. Yeah. And I think he has the better matchup in front of him.
But why do we love Third Strike, though?
Because it has nothing to do with matchups at the end of the day.
Yeah, because sometimes those things don't matter.
Matchups don't matter as much as they do in other games, certainly. They can play a part in how somebody approaches the character, but if you can get into your opponent's head, doesn't matter if she's using Chun or if he's using 12, you're going to fuck him up. So, yes, there is that factor. Diaperbomb, he can surprise people.
And remember, he used to play Danrise, Donka all the time.
There is that, too.
And I think Danrise is probably one of the most random Makotos I've ever seen in America. And you think that's a bad thing, but
no, but that's Makoto's game plan. That's the whole thing.
You
it's like you roll dice.
Have a roulette.
Yeah. Right? No, yeah. You roll the dice. Oh, it landed on 6. I'm gonna dash in this time. Yeah. Or I'm gonna hayate, or I'm gonna jump in and tsurugi, whatever the fuck.
That's why I think Diaperbomb's gonna beat Hispanic Jap. I don't think Hispanic Jap's gonna be that random. Cause see, I'm giving you some advice, Hispanic Jap. Don't play smart against Diaperbomb. It's play stupid. Yeah. Play dumb. And you might get in Diaperbomb's head, right?
Right.
But if you play smart with Makoto, you're gonna get neck dunked a bajillion times.
I don't know, because like at the end, maybe he's used to that kind of like in your face style. What if Hispanic Jap throws a wrinkle in there and decides to turtle him out? That's gonna be hard to deal with. If Makoto can, Makoto's certainly capable of out turtling Alex, and if he takes that route, how is Diaperbomb gonna respond? He doesn't parry well. That's one of his main flaws, is that with his execution. But that's just parrying is a component of execution, and he can't parry well. That's one of his things. So how is he gonna approach that matchup if Hispanic Jap takes like a backseat approach and just turtles him out?
So basically, you said your answer is Carson. Because you think the matchup between Hispanic Jap and Diaperbomb is too much in Hispanic Jap's favor.
Not only that, though.
But tell me about Carson. Though.
Carson. All right. Here's the thing with Carson versus Gavin. They're both playing Chun-Li. Obviously, it's an even.
Because you think Carson has a better chance of winning. Why?
Oh, right.
Aside from the fact that Hispanic
It's because Carson has had more of a showing. He has a sample size upon which we can make a conclusion.
Right.
Last Fight Club, he played well. He played against Gavin pretty well.
I never saw that match. Did they play?
Yeah, they played. It was in casuals, I think, and they were playing. Like you could tell that they have similar play styles. So it's I think just if you're talking about like ratios and odds and stuff, you're more inclined to say that that's going to be a closer matchup because they played similarly. Chun-Li versus Chun-Li is all rock, paper, scissors at the end of the day. It's not guessing, but it's just a matter of exercising options and seeing which person does a better job at exercising his options. You have the far fierce, low forward, back fierce. Who's going to take it? right? And it's 5-5. Carson plays solid enough that he can kind of shave rounds off of Gavin. And in the clutch, we've seen that Gavin hasn't been the best. So I'm just taking all of that into consideration. I think that Gavin and Carson, I think that's going to be a close match, but it's not going to be a rout the way that, you know, in any way it goes, it's not going to be a rout the way that Hispanic Giant versus Diaperbomb has the potential to go. Because again, another thing about Diaperbomb is that he has a tendency to get frustrated. And if he doesn't think that Hispanic Jap is a good player, he's gonna get frustrated like very quickly. But like the first good thing that Hispanic Jap does, he's gonna dismiss it, get salty, and that might get into his own head. But Carson versus Gavin, they're two players that know each other's capabilities. I think they both respect each other enough. It's gonna be obviously a prettier match to watch. It might not be hype, but I think Carson has a better chance of beating Gavin than Diaperbomb has of beating Hispanic Jap.
And also, this is the last thing I'm going to say about this question. Another reason I picked Diaperbomb is Gavin's hungry, man.
He's
starving.
Again, he's hungry.
Like,
but when you're fighting against Chun-Li, when you're looking at that hydrogen bomb in the face, what good does hunger really do? It might get you an extra low forward out. You know, that hunger might be the thing that makes you run into her super. Who knows? We don't know how Gavin is going to respond yet.
I just think Gavin will be better in a scramble than Carson will.
That's fair.
Yeah. All right.
That's fair to say.
All right, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and take about a 4 to 5 minute break.
4 to 5 minute break.
We're gonna have our special guest.
Our special guest.
The president.
The Prez.
And we got Ahmed, and we got some fun things in store. So.
Oh yeah. Check out.
So stay tuned, and we're gonna take about a 5 minute break. And we'll see you guys in a little bit.
Stay tuned.
All right, guys, welcome back. So, as promised, we have a special guest tonight. One of the best, if not the best.
The best.
East Coast Chun-Li player, maybe in America.
I would say so.
Best American Chun-Li player right now.
Absolutely. No.
The president.
The president.
Ahmed.
Welcome,
Ahmed, to the House of Strikes.
Thank you.
Oh, man. It's such an honor because a lot of people, they hate you.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people don't really know you. So I want to give the people a fair shot to hate you. I'm going to give them a side of Ahmed that we haven't seen yet. Just very basic stuff.
Sure.
When did you start playing Third Strike?
Late 2008.
Late 2008. Whoa, you're like right there to being an 09er.
Yeah.
Like there. But
well, I used to play like old games, but Third Strike, late 08.
Late 08. And who was the original main that you had? Ken. Well, why did you start playing Third Strike?
Adam got me into it.
Adam.
He showed me the Daigo video when I came back from vacation, and I was like, oh, that shit looks cool.
And so for those of you guys who don't know, Adam is Ahmed's older brother?
Older brother, yeah. He's 3 years older than me.
Yeah, even though Adam looks like he's 12.
Yeah. Unless he doesn't shave. Yeah. But yeah, he got me into the game. He was like, watch this video, play this game, it's really good. I was like, okay. But he was like a year ahead of me, him and Vizard.
Yo, that's his name I haven't heard in a long time. Vizard.
If Daigo was the original beast, Vizard was the original cocksucker.
Yeah.
What? That doesn't even make any sense.
It doesn't. The point is, Vizard is a cocksucker.
He is a cocksucker.
Alright, good. So, okay, let's not get ahead of ourselves real quick. Let's reel it back. Right now, you're known to be, like we said, the best Chun-Li player perhaps in North America, definitely on the East Coast. When did you make that switch over to Yun?
Yun or Chun?
No, Chun. I apologize.
Chun, well, let's see. 2009.
2009. What happened? What made you switch over to Chun-Li?
First I was ass in the arcade, right? I couldn't win shit. So I had to work hard. When I came back, like I started practicing with Adam.
Right.
I became like really, really good with Ken. But Ken, like, you have to put so much work. One day randomly I picked Chun and I just like dominated everybody at CF. And I don't know what, like, just with low forward super. Like, and just parry. It's like she's Ken, like, well, she fits my style. She's like Ken, but like overpowered. Like how Ken has his low forward super, but her low forward super is like godlike.
That's everybody's horror story about their strike.
Yeah,
but you turned it into a positive. See, this is what we're talking about.
Yeah, we all.
Then,
isn't that weird, right? Like all of us. I don't want to interrupt, my man, but all of us coming up, we always had that one chun player, right?
Yeah,
that we hated the shit out of.
Yeah,
like for me personally, it was Amir.
Right.
And it's funny because when I watch matches back, I'm like, yo, this fool's stupid, yo. He's pressing bad buttons.
My personal demon, Chun-Li wise, was Eddie Lee for a while.
Eddie Lee. Eddie Lee.
Yeah, because when we were playing, we didn't know who this little guy in the leather jacket was. But
Eddie Lee.
But he would come, because he would. It was funny because he would come first on Fridays, beat everybody. Then Justin would come, and then Justin would beat everybody with Chun-Li. So I'm over here just thinking, yo, fucking Chun-Li is ridiculous, So yeah, that's just. But he turned his hate for Chun-Li into a positive. Now you evoke hate among people.
Yeah, right? You did you don't have a Chun horror story.
No, we all do. You main Chun. that was it. You can't beat them. You join them, and you joined them, and you.
Never played that.
And now you're the head of the chariot. You're the head of the Chun-Li battalion.
Mm-hmm.
Now, real quick, let's just go to let's jump forward. Not towards right now. Who is the most overrated player outside of New York?
Oh shit!
Because there are a lot of good.
Going in already?
Yeah, we're going in a little bit. We're just gonna get him warmed up a little bit.
Right,
there's a lot of good players in New York. A lot of the best players in North America come from New York. We got Nica KO. We got myself. I'm not afraid to say that. Justin Wong came from New York. KO Fiend. A lot of top notch.
The
best players come from New York.
Well, I don't know about that.
Why?
But we'll talk about.
All right, we'll
talk about another segment.
Why? What are you gonna say?
All right, whatever. The point is that a lot of great talent comes from New York.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say?
Look,
a lot of great talent, just in general.
Took me on
recently,
just in general, great talent comes from New York.
All right. God, look at him.
We did. He used to be a baby back bitch, and now he's strong. Now he got that backbone. He's the best hater of us all right now. But again, outside of New York City, who is the most overrated player?
Well, before you answer that, Ahmed, again, like we said, your Chun's awesome.
Yeah.
But your hating game is so godlike. I mean, you just you have no fear. You don't back down, and I think that's a part of your success, right? Like, where did that come from?
Okay, yeah, that's what.
Tell me where that came from.
Okay, well, I used to play Adam a lot, and he was always ahead of me because a year.
Mm-hmm.
He was a year or two ahead of me, right? So he would play Yun, him and Vizard, and beat me. I wouldn't know what's going on. So I was like, yo, teach me. And then they're like, no.
Oh,
so I wanted to pick up Yun at one point. That's when I came CF and practice Yun.
Right, that was around the time Issei came, and you was playing him a lot, so you got.
And they were like, no, they wouldn't teach me. They just bullied me. So I'm like, okay. So later on, when we were still I had no friends in CF. I used to see Frankie, Tony, Eric's, the bookie player, the bookie, all those old school players, right?
Damn.
And they'll beat me, and I would go every day after high school, play, lose $10, $20, go home. Then I would go home salty. I'm one day, I know I'm gonna be way better than these guys. So then, playing Adam, he would beat me a set, and then I would think, I'm you know what? Since I'm a scrub, I have nothing to lose. So I'm not gonna fear nobody. So that's when I started going in, and it just dominated everybody. I went back to CF, made everybody whiff grab, disrespect them, taunt them, shit talk them, call out anybody, it worked down that road.
It makes sense. Now again, a lot of people who don't come from New York, they don't understand the culture. But if you went down on any given Saturday growing up, to the courts, and you was playing ball with the neighborhood people, talking shit is just a part of the culture. You know what I mean? Talking shit is just what, we do to rev each other up, rev everybody up, and just typically have a good time. So a lot of people tend to take that personally, right?
Yeah.
Now, how do you feel about that? Because we know a lot of, RKF came, and he didn't particularly take to, he doesn't like you very much.
Yeah.
Now, what do you do you have any sense of yourself that you want to justify any of your much loved behavior by us? We love the way you behave. A lot of people don't like it. Do you have anything to say towards them?
Well,
to those who might not understand exactly that.
All right, I'm gonna tell you
what. Just.
Well, I don't care what anybody says, because my goal is to win, and it's a single tournament. So there's no friends in single tournament. If you're in my way, I gotta beat you.
Absolutely.
So
I agree.
like every time I see him down the road, like I'm not gonna call people's name, but I lost like a lot of like. We was cool, but then people stopped talking to me.
Right, once you started winning.
Yeah, once I started winning.
Once you started winning, that's when you see everybody who comes up.
But then
their true colors.
Shit talking is like it gets you to get like the how you say it, like the full potential of a different like your opponent. You get it? Like okay, Adam. Like I think people, you got to be angry to play. I feel like you got to be angry to play perfect, like 100%.
So you think playing angry, playing mad is good?
Yeah. That's why, like, I would need to like lose a tournament or two to come back and like I gotta practice. I gotta come back for the next tournament.
So I guess I don't
like my loss with Adam.
Yeah.
That was.
Well, what happened there? Tell us the backstory about that.
I didn't want to bring it, but okay. So we play every time. I did not. Adam practices third strike like every night. I didn't touch it. I went to playing cards. I took a break. So that night, August 10th, it was August 11th, right?
That was 11th and 12th. That
was the night before my birthday.
That was the 25th.
It was midnight, and it was my birthday. And Adam was telling me about this tournament. So I'm like, fuck, I didn't sleep yet. And I have work, so I'll tell my dad I can't go, and go. And I was rusty.
So the tournament you're talking about is 25th anniversary.
25th anniversary.
Yeah, 25th anniversary
qualifier.
Okay.
Some of you guys know, like Adam he had like practice. I didn't have like nothing, so I came. I was struggling like in the pools and stuff, and people were like terrible, but I was still struggling.
Remember, guys, Adam, Ahmed's brother, got third in the New York qualifier.
That practice showed.
So my goal was like to get in the money, top, what was it? 16?
Top 8?
16.
Top 16
was money,
yeah. So I was like top 16, that's my goal, that's it. Because I knew like Lloyd was ahead of me, Frankie, you, Adam, who else? Chividi, everybody else. I'm like
everybody was there. That was a big
but
tournament.
like everybody practiced and like played while I was gone.
All right.
So Adam, okay, I know from like past like sets with Adam, I was like his yun is 50-50 my chun. My ken, his yun, free.
Free for you.
Free, yeah.
Like he's
and
free.
And Chun mirror, he can never beat me. Chun mirror. That's a fact.
That's a fact.
Well, yo, facts.
He beat me.
Facts.
He only beat me with yun. So
damn.
I beat his son bad at the 25th, and then he goes to yun. He beats me. It was close, but then I get a chance to switch. I go to character select. Lloyd goes, pick your shit, and I know I'm like next. I'm like highlighted Ken. I'm like, if I pick Ken, it's over. So Lloyd goes, pick your shit. I was like, you know what? I'll do it.
So you played Chun again.
I played Chun again, yeah. And I guess I would like blame myself for not practicing, because people say the TV.
No.
TV wasn't as bad, like as playing like online or like other shitty TVs.
I don't think personally. I didn't think anything that was wrong with the setups at 25th. I think everything was fine. The stream setup. The stream setup was a bit weird.
No, there was lag.
There was
lag.
But you could play it.
Here's the thing.
But I think you should blame yourself
for not practicing it.
No, not just that. You should blame yourself
for listening to Lloyd.
Yeah,
oh
I told Lloyd.
Why the fuck are you listening to Lloyd?
Because you got to think about it from a competitive standpoint. He's trying to get you out of the tournament.
Well, okay, I don't want to go so far.
I'm saying
I don't want to go.
There is a chance though.
No,
there was a chance that he'd be like, you know what?
I don't think Lloyd told you to use Chun because he knew you were going to lose.
No.
I don't think he thought he was going to lose, but at the same time, you don't listen to a competitor.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You don't listen to a competitor. That's why you should be.
Me was like, I was already in top 8, and I was like, if I lose, I got further than what I expected. But I still wanted to go like to top 3.
Right.
And then I lost. I was like, I was so frustrated. Like I took a walk, came back. It was like, I don't know. It's like you have the match in your hand, but you let it like go.
And I'm sure it was really even worse because he was losing to your brother.
Yeah, and then not only that, you gotta hear it like every day.
Oh, he brings it up every day.
I told you, remember? When I said he injects his wins into the conversation.
In the morning, like, oh man, wake up.
Yeah.
Remember when I bought
So,
you?
and his check was $150 more than mine.
Mhm.
Mine was like $2. His was like $350. Yeah. So I was like, okay. I was like, so I'm gonna come back in the game, and I want to see somebody step in my way. And that's when I went to Summer Jam, and I won. And then he was like, I wasn't there, so I called him out, dragged him to NEC with me, and he was talking shit the whole bus ride. Then I bodied his shit in NEC. Then I won NEC, and I was like, see, if you gotta play angry to push you to like succeeding. If you like, oh, I lost, keep like going, like you're not gonna, how you say it? You gotta pass your, what's it called, limit, like.
And the only way to do that is to be angry.
Yeah, you
on
gotta
some
be
Vegeta
angry.
shit.
Yeah, I was like Vegeta, like you see how like Vegeta, he to like get to the next level, he was salty because of Goku.
He gets pissed.
Well, I definitely think like it's kind of like for basketball, right? Like
Oh, yeah.
You can't be
like almost. But the thing is, Ahmed, like not. I would say the majority of people play shitty when they're mad. You
That's
know?
true. I think it's a
Right?
skill to play angry.
Right? Yeah, that's
I
what I'm
think
saying.
playing angry
Like
is a skill.
Like in basketball, right? Kobe.
Right.
Right?
He plays like a beast when he's
Oh
angry.
my God, don't get that for
Don't
it.
get him angry.
Right?
Some people,
LeBron
But some
plays like
people
shit when
play
he's
like
angry.
ass. Some people play like ass
Like,
when they're mad.
all right, like for instance, like just to bring it back to the FGC, our strategy against beating Chris G was to get him angry because he plays like
Yep.
shit angry.
Yep.
But at the same time, Sanford is somebody who plays excellent angry.
Oh
You
my
don't want to
God.
get him angry because he plays so good. So, I guess for you it works out that way. I guess
Yeah.
people who are struggling should probably try to channel that, that avenue if they don't see like progression in the normal, conventional, humble ways that, we try to, cater to everybody. They should probably get angry. They should probably be upset. Like, yo, this nigga fucked my girl. I'm gonna fuck him up. Like, get yourself
Adam,
wrapped up.
Okay, a lot of people don't know, like Adam. His main is Yun. He would say Chun, but
His main
if
is
you
not
know-
Yun. His Yun is
his-
garbage.
yeah. If you know when Adam's angry, he'll go to Yun.
His Yun is bad though. His
That's
Chun is like 9 million times better than
it's
his
not.
Yun.
Well, it's Chun. Chun is.
His Yun's horrible, dude.
Remember, we're still
Yo,
talking
Adam,
to a
your
competitor.
Yun is.
Yeah, but like then again, Yun and Yang was so good in those setups. Capcom 24.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's a big thing.
Yeah.
And just for the record, like a lot, like I feel people don't give Ahmed his due respect, but at the same time, he beat Ricky Ortiz coming out of losers at I think it was NEC.
NEC, yeah.
At NEC, a lot more decisive than Lloyd beat Ricky. Let
Well-
me tell you, he beat him very like it was fucking free. Like it wasn't
Characters. I think character has something to do with it too, right?
maybe, but at the same time, like at the top level, you can never bring that up.
That's
I
true.
feel like there's a threshold that once you pass it, you can't bring up characters anymore. Because if we were to bring that up, then nobody's Justin's victories would never be validated because he plays with Chun-Li. At a certain level, you stop complaining about that. And I think Ahmed really decisively beat Ricky, and since it wasn't streamed, he doesn't get credit for it. But
Eggy has the video.
Eggy
Somehow
should
I got it up.
send us a video
Yes.
so we can expose.
See, that's how I lost. Like, that's how I actually beat Ricky. Because I lost to him at the 25th 2-0. Then NEC winners finals, he 3-0'd me.
Right.
So before, like, I took a little break and I was mad. I was like, you gotta get out the anger. And I'm like, I'm gonna like, when I get angry, I like try to disrespect people more. Like in the game, like I would like parry your stuff, make you whiff, and like all that.
So
crazy shit.
when you're playing, so you're telling me that when you're playing and you do things that are like really risky, you know that they're
Yeah,
risky.
they're risky.
You know that because see, there are certain players, I won't mention any name,
Lloyd.
that think that when you play that you don't really you're not really thinking, like you're not really doing what you're.
Lloyd was
So
like,
you're telling me that when you do like unsafe shit,
I
like
know.
you know what you're doing.
I know, yeah. I played the game since like 08. Like Lloyd, like he just states his opinion on the stream. I guess you could state your opinion on your stream. He doesn't know how I play or nothing. I play the way I want to play. If I want to go risky, that's fine. If you're not gonna kill me, then I'm gonna play risky. If it's gonna kill me, I'm not gonna do risky shit.
So I get it. So it's like if you understand your opponent doesn't
Like,
punishes, you're gonna go after you're gonna go after him. You're
Yeah,
gonna
like there are
throw him a bunch of
certain
looks.
players, right? Like there are actually certain players that get angry when the opponent plays dumb,
Yeah,
and it frustrates
a
them.
lot of people do. A lot of people
They're like,
get angry.
"Oh, why did you do that?
I think
How
that's
would you
normal.
do that?
Yeah, I think
why
that's
would you do that option? Why would you wake up there? Why would you?" right? Yeah.
Like, all right,
But sometimes like you have to do dumb shit.
You have to take risks?
Yeah,
I think
you
so.
have to.
yeah, I
Definitely think so.
Yeah,
Especially in chun, they don't expect you to do like dumb shit. Yeah.
But maybe that's part of the reason why you have such a success, because
Chun, yeah.
everyone's so used to, because Chun has such good tools
Yeah.
to be solid,
like
And
to just be a turtle.
her clutch is
You know?
really good.
and so they don't expect you to take those risks.
They don't expect you to dash in at them, pretty much. Because that's what you do. You dash up, you jump in a lot. Like they're not, they're not ready for the anti-air. I don't think any other like Chun lands more jump-ins than Ahmed, and I think it's because
Yeah.
they're just not ready for them.
Yeah,
Actually,
I'm
it's
trying
funny.
to calculate that.
Yeah, it's
Like,
funny those jump-ins, because I remember, this is a long time ago, I think it was NEC
I had
2010,
everybody, yeah.
2009, it was when the cab came, when the Doylestown crew, shout out to the Doylestown crew, they brought the cab, and goddamn, you were hitting everyone with jump roundhouse. And I could tell you were like varying the timing, like you weren't
Yeah.
doing it at the same
Yeah.
time. You know,
I told
I mean,
Adam-
people could have just blocked, but they, whatever.
No, the thing is, right? It's like okay, he's dumb enough to jump. That's what they're thinking. Oh, he's dumb enough to jump. So they're trying to counter, and then they get hit. You know, that was
if you would get hit,
that was a great year,
I was
by the
telling-
way.
yeah.
Congrats, because we won that one.
Yeah, we won.
Congrats, that was a
Yeah,
great year.
you guys got lucky. You
No,
did.
I told Adam,
Come on.
I was mad I couldn't enter single, and I told Adam, because I took off. All you guys left, remember? The group?
Yeah.
And I had to go by myself the next morning. And I told Adam, like, yo, this style I have is like nobody's beating me with this, like, chun style that I have. He's like, okay. So I try to, like, calculate, if you're, like, turtling, a lot of people won't expect you, like, to jump. They will, like, try to, if you're turtling in their face, they'll try to low forward or sweep chun. So you jump, they're like, oh shit. And everybody get hit by it.
Hey, it worked
And if
against
it's
Justin. It worked against
Yeah,
Lloyd.
Justin
so.
got destroyed. And then he got salty after.
So do you have any more questions, or?
Just real quick, like I just want you to just get back to the original question. Who outside of New York is overrated? EXO?
He got no accomplishment. He sucks.
No accomplishments, you say. So he's a ringless.
No
He's
accomplishments.
ringless.
was
He has
on-
no
was-
rings.
He was on the Kofiend. He was on the Justin. Now, new generation.
He's
on
under
the
Lloyd.
V, you, Lloyd, and Mutant.
Damn.
So he's never been like he doesn't deserve those accolades. that
Has he won a
everybody
major?
gives.
Nope.
He has not.
Um,
He's always had somebody better than him.
Yep. It was
right?
with Justin, Kofiend. Now he got us.
Now he has us. So he's
So
definitely the
he's like the Karl Malone of Third Strike.
yeah, ringless, but gets a lot of points.
He's under New York.
He's under.
All that shit.
No, I don't want you to think too far ahead. But if you were to beat, EXO, who do you think you would want to fight as a future opponent?
Like after playing EXO.
After playing EXO, who do you?
And let's assume that you beat him.
That's what I'm saying. So let's just assume that you beat him. Let's assume that you beat him. However you beat him, who would you want to see play you? Who do you think is?
Well, who would you want to play?
Who would you want to play?
Lloyd.
Nika. Any particular reason?
What are the
No,
stakes?
well, I told Lloyd and I think I told you. I told Adam. I was like, I don't want no shitty person in my fight card. So like I'll play like you, Frankie, Lloyd, EXO. I guess I give EXO some kind of respect. Who else? That's
Well,
about it.
You know what? I'm
Like
gonna.
Gavin, I don't know. That's just like free money.
I think I don't want to speak for Lloyd, but if you
Anson's
can,
scared.
but if you can, let's not even talk about that. Just if you can, if you,
Yeah, he's
if
scared,
you
like,
can, if you let's just say let's just assume you beat EXO.
I'm gonna be EXO.
I'm not speaking for Lloyd, but I think probably the next Fight Club will probably be at NEC. Maybe we're having conversations about something at Defend the North, right?
Maybe.
Well,
I think if we do Fight Club at NEC, I think that's the next logical match, right? Ahmed versus
Sure.
Lloyd. But
If
I
they
think
keep
the
winning.
stakes would need to be
like
special.
like astronomical.
like first to 10 for something
first to 10
substantial.
for like whatever. I don't know what your opinion is.
Like, because
what do you
you
think?
know Lloyd's good for
Okay.
it.
What do you
That's the
feel
thing, like-
comfortable doing?
What would you?
Lloyd,
What
first
would
to
you?
10.
What would you?
No, it's not like I understand like Lloyd because we talked about it. I'm like, yeah, but like if I play Lloyd, that's like the last person I want to verse.
Well,
So
well, it would have to be a
if I
first to
verse-
10.
Yeah, if I verse Lloyd, then that's it. Like win or lose, I'm like staying away from the game. That's why I want like climb up. Like I guess I'll put him up like final boss and like climb up through like every good fight.
But after you beat EXO, I mean, who else would you play? I mean, you play Frankie or me, but we play all the time.
Yeah,
We play a lot.
That's not.
And you don't have the kind of
exciting.
beef with us that you have with Lloyd.
Or
And Lloyd
that
doesn't
is
have
true.
the beef with you that he has like with us, obviously, you know. So like I feel
Yeah, 'cause
like
you guys,
it's a perfect
It's
storm.
your guys' fault. You guys listen to Lloyd.
What do you mean? Listen, we don't. What do you
You
mean?
guys like went under his shadow. Like you went under his wing. Like you was his shadow for a long
Well,
time.
I don't know
And
if I'd say that.
I did not agree with that.
Well, I think there's a difference between giving Lloyd his due and
Lloyd wouldn't be
giving his.
Lloyd if he didn't win 25th. The fans and everything.
Well, of course, but he did.
Because Lloyd was like all of us.
Yeah, but he did though, and he put in the work.
I guess because I didn't practice him.
That's why we said NEC, first to 10, you versus Nica KO. What's the stakes? How much would you be willing to put?
Let's talk to Lloyd.
Oh, okay.
So that's I gotta refer.
But let's not look ahead.
Let's not look ahead because you still have to be EXO first.
And speaking of which, and I don't want to blow you up on the stream, Ahmed, but
No, you can go ahead.
but your last few performances.
Yeah,
I mean, well, Fight Club 2 was bad, but Fight Club 3 you played pretty well.
Play good.
I
I'd
thought
say
you
well.
Yeah.
I'd say well
You know?
because
And even your matches against RKF, I mean, that's just the nature of RKF, yo. Like I think that's where maybe you should have played a little more safe against him.
in the money match with him.
Just in general, because that's just RKF's style, dude. Like, he just waits. You know, and that's what you're supposed to do. His execution's so godlike that he waits, and he waits, and he waits.
Yeah, I think he's better than Vinal.
And then,
I don't know why Vinal.
well, I mean,
RKF say Vinal's better.
again, you know,
like-
personally, I don't like that question, like, who's the better third strike player, because it's so hard. Because
there's a lot of
you
there's a
use
lot of
different
variables.
characters.
RKF
Yeah.
says Vinal's better because Vinal beats him. But that's not the point. That's like, okay, I guess Adam say he beat me, but I'm way better than Adam in tournament. I could beat people that Adam can't beat. You understand?
Thing is, like,
So I think RKF is like.
I think given the character's nature, like, it's easier to play Ryu at a high level in a tournament than it is Urien. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of, you have to hit your shit with Urien in order to be successful.
But who
Ryu,
strikes more fear, Urien or
fucking
Denjin Ryu?
RKF,
Yeah,
for sure.
that one parry's like.
That one parry, that's how I lost against him every round. I was outsmarting him, but he got one good parry in, and that's all it took.
Yeah, Frankie had him. He missed
So
fierce shorty. I mean,
All right, guys. So we're gonna take a So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and move along with the show, and our next topic will be evolution, which of course took place last weekend.
Yep.
All right, guys. So as you all know, Evolution 2015 went down last weekend, and in addition to the main stage games, there were over 22 side tournaments
wow, that's a lot.
at the venue.
That's a lot. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't have a figure, but
Yeah.
I'm sure that's probably the most they've had,
Yeah.
like around the most.
Yeah, from anime games like Melty Blood and BlazBlue
Like, nobody
to
played that.
yeah to old school fighters like ST, CVS2, and Marvel. It seems like Evo had something for everyone. But conspicuous by its absence was Third Strike.
Third Strike was not.
Yep. Now there are some reports of random casuals taking place, but there was no real tournament that kind of like the one Duralath ran
Right.
last year. So one could make the argument that Evo owes a lot of its success to Third Strike.
Sure.
I mean, think Evo Moment 37.
Mm-hmm.
But with Third Strike getting little to no shine at the last Evo, it seems like its popularity has hit an all-time low. So, that brings us to our next question, which is, does Third Strike need to be at Evo? So, Frankie, what do you think about this?
I think it goes without saying. I think absolutely no questions asked. Third Strike should be at Evo. Obviously because of how much shine, a lot of these other games get, that don't necessarily have like a strong community behind it. It doesn't necessitate that the game, is dead. And just like, ST, even before Street Fighter 4 came out, had an era where they would be at Evo, maybe 60 player bracket, which is pretty low considering, the rest of the attendance in terms of Evo games. But the quality of play was high first round, and that's something that probably Third Strike should aspire to. I mean, not to mention just all of the, the exposure that we would get being, all of the exposure that we would get.
Oh, do you have any more?
Oh yeah. Just all of the I'm like, yeah, I'm like, what the fuck? So all of the exposure, that Third Strike could potentially gain, just like the ST community gets with their Tournament of Legends being on the main stage. I think high level Third Strike is probably the most beautiful fighting game out there.
I think so too.
And I think that people who don't necessarily have that exposure to it would be very much welcoming to a Third Strike tournament being on high display at EVO. Personally, I was learning how to play Marvel 3, and a lot of the Marvel players that go to Bum's house in the House of Chaos.
House of Chaos. Shout out to House of Chaos. Keeping Marvel alive.
Absolutely. A lot of those players have an interest in watching Third Strike. They might not necessarily. They might feel it would be too late to get into such a high, highly technical game, but they love watching it. And I know that because I've taught a couple players over there. Some urien stuff, some little things that they like about the game. So it just shows that the viewership potential is there. I think it's something that we shouldn't give up on. I think EVO definitely needs to embrace Third Strike with open arms. And I think that in the past they've had, some headbutting with the West Coast scene in terms of not having like arcade Third Strike at the later EVOs before Street Fighter 4. I think, we could mend that. We can definitely go over there and show that this game deserves to be on display.
Well, it seems as though the question suggests, does, in order for the Third Strike scene to stay alive, does it need to be Evolution? And I agree with you. I think it definitely does. I mean, Evolution is the biggest fighting game tournament of the year. Okay?
In the world.
The fact that there were 22 side tournaments and, there wasn't a Third Strike tournament, just to me seems pretty unacceptable.
It's pathetic.
But the thing is, it's pathetic, but a lot of that's our fault too.
Absolutely.
We could have went to Evolution.
Yeah, not blaming EVO at all. There's a lot of Japanese players who play the current games now who had a pass in Third Strike, and I think if anybody were to step up to the plate who were over there, they would have definitely joined a tournament. A lot of like Momochi who won SF4.
Well, he wouldn't have been playing Third Strike.
I don't know.
I don't think he would have played Third Strike.
He played
I
in
think
the
his focus.
past.
Yeah, but his focus at EVO, yeah.
But it's just to give you like a just a sample size of like a lot of players who play the current games who are foreign played Third Strike at one point. You know what I mean, I just think it's something that we should put out there.
It's like RF.
Yeah.
Like RF as well.
Yeah.
Body and Chris G.
Like Chris G.
Yo, we're still on that?
Just like,
Well, I think definitely.
oh, so.
So yeah,
Maybe Third Strike plays bad.
there was for the past few years, there have been a lot of Third Strike players that have been getting together at Hooters.
Of all places.
Hey, that's as good a place as any. They have really good wings.
And tits, I get it.
That
our acronym.
So what do you think about running a fight club at Hooters next EVO? Don't you think it's a
I think that would be
a perfect fit?
I think that.
You see what I did there? See what I did there?
I think running a fight club at Tits. You hear me?
I see. I got you confused.
You got me. You're in my head. I'm getting mixed up right now.
I
I think like having a fight club at Hooters would be an excellent plan B.
But the thing is,
because I think it should be at EVO. But if it can't gain traction to be at EVO, and to get some actual exposure there, with the main stage love, Hooters is it's a great plan B. But I wouldn't aspire to be at Hooters.
As This Is Third Strike has shown, sometimes you just need one or two people to just kind of wake up and go, you know what, I want to do something.
Yep.
And, it's, to me, the fact that there was nothing at EVO for Third Strike, I mean, I don't know. I really don't know why there wasn't anything. I know Duralath, shout outs to Duralath for organizing that tournament last year at EVO. They had a tournament last year.
Shout outs, yep.
I don't really know how many entrants they had. How many entrants did they have?
I think Mester won, though, right?
Yeah.
No, not Mr.
I don't know.
It's a Japanese player, though.
K, I think.
Yeah.
K, right?
You know,
okay.
the fact
you played the anime.
Yeah.
I heard rumors that CVS2 had over 80 people enter.
Wow.
That's intense. CVS 2. That game is amazing, but it's old.
80 people.
Old, just like ours.
Why can't Third Strike?
You would get more.
I'm pretty sure if there was a person who kind of said, you know what, I'm going to go to Evolution and I'm going to organize a Third Strike tournament, maybe we could have gotten that.
That's what,
But you know what? It's clear that no one on the West Coast seems to want to do anything. And so I think it may require us to go out there and do something.
I'd be perfectly willing to do that.
I
think we all owe it to one another in terms of the Third Strike community.
Especially with 5 coming out. I mean, I know ST had a strong showing, CVS2 had a strong showing, Marvel had a strong showing.
As always.
And it's quite surprising that Third Strike didn't have anything.
As the main game at EVO not too long ago,
Yeah.
5 years removed from being like the main game before Street Fighter 4 on the top stage.
And I don't want to get on my soapbox, but when I see something like Third Strike Junkies, like a forum like Third Strike Junkies, like on Facebook, and not taking any away from that page, but I remember, I think like late last year, I don't know exactly who posted it. It might have been Farai who posted, but he had basically called all of the Third Strike players out and said, hey, with 5 coming out, what can we do as a community to revive the scene? And to me, in this day and age, the answer is simple. You have to stream. You have to stream Third Strike. It's got to happen, and you have to stream arcade Third Strike. Or it doesn't really matter what kind of Third Strike it is. Just stream it. So maybe we do have to do something at EVO. I mean, obviously there are a lot of logistical concerns when it comes to that, right? Raising the money, getting out there, organizing things and stuff. I mean, remember, I don't know if any of you know, but Hold That, right, was at EVO.
Yep.
And he got to play some of the Third Strike players. But there was really nothing at the actual venue. They had an actual Third Strike booth. That's what Hold That told me. They had an actual Third Strike booth, all Third Strike merchandise. Why was there no Third Strike tournament? I don't know. But I definitely think Third Strike should be at EVO.
Absolutely.
And, to me, Third Strike Junkies, it's a good place to go out, seek knowledge about the game, seek players to play with. But I think, particularly with the veterans who actually care about Third Strike, figure out how to do something. Stream, okay? I know the people in the boiler room are trying to hold it down.
Shout outs to the boiler room.
But, and I liked what boiler room is doing, but you got to step up your shit, boiler room.
Yep.
Okay, you got to get that direct feed. You got to get that J-Rock. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, I don't know. I definitely think Third Strike should be at EVO. Whether that's going to happen next year, I don't know. I don't know whether This Is Third Strike's going to be able to run something. But hopefully someone in the West Coast goes out and does that.
Absolutely. No matter where you are.
Yeah.
You should do something for your immediate community.
So, hey guys, if you're watching this show and you think that there's something that, the community isn't doing, definitely hit us up at houseofstrikes@gmail.com. Shoot us an email. Post on the This Is Third Strike thread. Give us your ideas. What do you think we need to do to help revive this game that we all love? Because we all think Third Strike's the best fighting game ever made, right?
Amen.
I mean, there's a lot of people who have that opinion. Why is it not getting enough play? Why is it not getting enough shine? I challenge everyone. Have this discussion.
Yep.
So, all right, guys. So with that said, Third Strike may have not had a huge showing at EVO this year, but that doesn't mean that there's been a shortage of Third Strike moments at EVO.
They've been the best.
I mean, definitely from Tokido showing the world Urien Unblockables in 2002. Oh, I'm sorry, Justin, but this is just bad. Whether it's the Daigo parry in 2004? Or remember that money match that Amir and Shen had?
That was a good one.
In 2007? That was a good one, too. Definitely there's been no shortage of third strike moments at EVO.
Yep.
So that brings us to a very special edition of Oki of the Week, where we ask what are our favorite third strike matches at Evolution. And so, do you want to go first, Frankie, or should I go first?
I'll definitely go first.
Oh, you want to go first?
Yeah.
All right.
My pick for the Oki of the Week was Kofiend versus Pyro back in Evolution 2K6.
Oh, wow. That's a great match. All right.
Definitely, one of the main reasons why I picked this match was because context always shapes content, And at the time, you have the two best players who played the twins. One from the East Coast, one from the West Coast. One playing Yun, the other one playing Yang. You have an Asian with an American handle and an American with an Asian handle. This is just a perfect storm.
Definitely.
And there's one thing that people, like players now, won't understand, and it's having your Shoryuken tab open the entire weekend looking for updates on matches that happened that weekend, because there was no such thing as streams back then.
Oh man, old school.
And you had to, the only thing that was ever recorded was top 8. Because they sold that, on the Evo website, the top 8 DVDs and such. And, you had to rely on people going out of their way to record these matches and put it on YouTube. So when this match came out, we were like, holy shit, what's going to happen? What's going to happen, between, this force, in the West Coast known as Pyro, both players always vying for SBO spots. Just two top-notch players. And I think this was the match that kind of put East Coast on the map in terms of Justin isn't the only good player. And Kofiend, he showed that he's very skilled, and that the rest of us could be that skilled. In terms of just a matchup, it was just a good matchup in terms of attrition. You got two players constantly, getting momentum and having the other player stop it and then get their momentum, and that's how this match was. It wasn't too much thinking. It was just a lot of action, straightforward. And I think I just think that people weren't expecting Kofiend to perform the way that he did.
Nope.
And I guess you can say that for yourself because you were actually there.
Yes,
But,
I was. I watched this match live, and it was very exciting. Considering Pyro's, been the best player, and he's probably arguably still the best player in the West Coast. It's funny because it seems as though the vibe, I don't want to speak for anyone else that was there at EVO 2007, or 2006, excuse me, but it seems as though the vibe in the room is that regardless of what coast you were from, you wanted to see
Pyro.
Kofiend beat Pyro. Whether you were from the East Coast, the West Coast, the Midwest, Texas, Canada, when you're when you're considered the best in the country, obviously everyone wants to see the upset.
Absolutely.
And this match was so hype, mainly because Kofiend came so close.
Yeah, and out of nowhere, right? Because the expectation going into this match was, Kofiend's gonna get fucked up. He's gonna get bodied.
Out of nowhere, for maybe the West Coast players.
Yeah. East Coast always has that.
But I think the East Coast players knew, and I think Kofiend knew that if he could somehow manage to draw Pyro, that he could make something happen. And the thing is, like you were saying, Perfect Storm. When I was coming up in the scene in the West Coast, nobody used Yang. Well, Gio rocked Yang for a little bit, but then he stopped playing.
Ram was Sayambu.
Yeah, he stopped playing altogether. Ram was from NorCal, so we didn't really play him at Family.
Didn't see him.
So there was really nobody playing Yang at the time, at least not with the kind of proficiency that Kofiend was using him with. And so, we all had kind of a feeling. Even after that first round, or that first game, the first game was pretty free.
Yeah, it was.
But even after that first game, we were like, you know what? Kofiend might bounce back.
This could be good.
Yeah, and it was, and you could tell Kofiend kind of hit him with some gimmicks that Pyro didn't know about.
Oh, man, but that's the best part.
And so, And I definitely think Pyro showed a lot of nerves in this game as well.
He was dropping a lot of stuff.
But remember, he's number one.
Right.
So he has all that pressure. Kofiend has nothing to lose.
It's true. At the same time, because you're number one, people won't ever accept that as an excuse for losing.
Mhm.
You know, so even if he did drop everything which he did, like, that's not to take anything away from Kofiend.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the best, you know, obviously the best round in this match is the final one.
Yes.
You were gonna watch Kofiend just clutch it out in classic Kofiend fashion with his momentum. He just knows how to use momentum in his favor.
Yeah, and Kofiend was the only person in the country who could consistently hit confirm those slashes.
Mm.
I mean, that last series,
Oh my God!
when he
that was the
paused
best.
and then he hit him with a...
Though we're about to see that right now and in action. But look at that shaky cam.
Yeah.
This like encapsulates all the beautiful things about like old school Third Strike. You got the
Old
shaky
school
cam.
fighting games in general.
Yeah, you
man.
got the shaky cam. You know, you got the people crowded around two players.
Definitely.
You know, this was probably recorded on the main stage too, but just the setup was wonky. You know, it's like shifty. You know, it's good, but it's small. It's just, you know, everything that we love.
And remember, this was
fighting games.
the first year that Evo moved to PS2 Anniversary Edition. Look at that! Oh, let's go! Get Max! You know? I mean, look at this pressure, right? Kofiend is just in that ass.
Yeah, he
man.
went 1 second from being like
Yeah.
2 hits away from.
And he made a big
almost
mistake
winning.
here. Basically, that throw, right?
You should have
And, yeah.
kept it going.
But, you know what? Kofiend came really close.
Made a lot of noise.
He made a lot of noise. He definitely turned a lot of heads.
Yeah, that was a really bad loss to him personally. I know for sure. Like he was like, you know, thinking about that loss for a long time after that match, and I don't think they ever got like a proper rematch. But that's just something to me that is like what classic Evo Third Strike was about. You know, like the best Americans who never got to play each other like how they do now. You know, like people. You know, that was something that's cherished back in the day, where you have an East Coast player playing a West Coast player because they never got the chance to play each other except for that one tournament and maybe SBO quals. But Evo was that was where everybody raised their banners, everybody represented wherever they came from, and East versus West was a big thing back then, and that was just a perfect match in my opinion.
And shout outs to what I like to call the original East Coast godfathers of the godfathers of East Coast Third Strike. Obviously, we have Kofiend.
Much respect.
We have Flash Gordon. And I don't know who the third godfather is. I'm very hesitant to call Justin a godfather because he didn't even really like the game. I mean, obviously he was holding it down for
Eddie?
Marvel. Maybe Eddie. I was thinking maybe Henry. I don't know.
Henry.
Art used to play the game.
You see, that's the thing. It's like a lot of people, who kind of like bash the game, or they say derogatory things in jest. At one point, loved it.
Yeah.
And you could see it in their face. Like there was a moment when NEC, I think it was 11, when we got the cabin for the first time. Justin had a frown on his face playing Street Fighter 4 the whole weekend, but we got him to sit down to play Third Strike for like 10 minutes, and he had the biggest smile on his face. So it just kind of goes to show.
All right, Frankie, Ahmed. So I'm gonna give you guys my favorite Third Strike match at Evolution of all time, and some of you may remember this match. And this is a match featuring none other than the Beast.
The original Beast.
The Beast, Daigo versus Mester, who for the longest time was the best Yun player in Japan. He is definitely one of the pioneers of Yun play in Third Strike. And one of the reasons I chose this match, well, number one, it really is my favorite, but, this match, this past Evolution made me appreciate this match even more. Because the Daigo that you guys saw last weekend
It's not the Beast.
is not the Beast.
That's not the Beast.
Okay? This is the Beast. Daigo gave no shits. I mean, the swag that this guy displayed, I mean, he was swag before swag was a thing.
And it's just the attitude, right? Because he just had this thing about his gameplay that he didn't care who you were, he was going to rip your heart out.
Look at this.
That-
Look at the intimidation that Daigo...
That's just raw.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's just raw. Like
That is really raw. And, I mean, the Daigo that you saw last weekend, smiling, joking, looking up in the screen, looking like he's having a good time. I mean, for those of you guys who watch wrestling, that's corporate Daigo. All right, that's corporate Daigo. That's like corporate Kane. That's corporate Daigo. This is the Daigo. This is the Daigo that'll burn your house down. Okay, this is the Daigo that will eat your children. I mean, look at this round. Look at the lack of respect that Daigo has for Mester. I mean, he is just moving forward. Doesn't give a shit whether Mester has meter or not.
We're talking about Mester. He was a favorite to win.
Yeah.
Like one of the favorites.
Mester, look at that Mexican uppercut. Yo, he low parried. For those of you guys who don't know anything about Evolution 2004, Daigo was so ahead of everybody that in order to amuse himself, Daigo had to give himself little challenges at Evo. And one of his challenges was to try, look at these fierces. One of his challenges, he tried again. One of these challenges was to try to finish every round with EX Shoryu. That last round, he could have just done jab Shoryu.
And won.
He probably would have won. I'm not really sure about the life was really close, but he wanted to do EX Shoryu because he doesn't give a fuck. He just wanted to intimidate and bully. This is the beast. Mm-hmm. I don't know who that person was last week.
The other... that dude with the MC, Z in front of his name, that Mad Cat.
That's corporate Daigo now.
Daigo.
But this is Daigo. I mean, okay.
Well, the beast. This is the beast.
Street Monsters, you're gonna see some shit in this game that's gonna blow your mind. I mean, look at this. Look at Daigo, just relentless attack. Okay. Now, of course, this is 2004. The game has evolved. Who knows how Daigo would have fared in the later generations? But just the kind of attitude that Daigo had. Look at that. Mester activated.
Yeah.
Gaijin.
And
Daigo still jumped in.
That's just an attitude.
Now, I want you Stream Monsters to watch this round, because Daigo does probably the sickest thing. I don't know if I forgot if it's this round or the next round, but Daigo does probably the sickest thing I have ever seen in Third Strike. And I was there live, and I watched this match, and that's not even the sickest thing he did. Look at that. Mash and jab, doesn't give a fuck, okay? So disrespectful.
Very disrespectful.
Look at this, watch this round, Stream Monsters, and look what he does here, okay? I mean, Daigo was so bored, he needed to amuse himself here. Look at this. Daigo doesn't give a fuck.
He's getting hit.
Look at that. EX Shoryu. Nice block by Mester. Gotta give Mester some credit. But this is the beast, though.
Just walking at him.
Yeah, look at that. Just walking at him.
Carrying everything.
Yes.
Just fuck it.
Just doesn't care. Now look at this, guys. Oh! Daigo! And look at this. He could have won the round. See? But he does EX Shoryu because he wanted to win with EX Shoryu. Okay? Obviously, Mester takes this game. And for those of you who've ever watched this match, I won't spoil it for you. But notice, Daigo tried to finish the round. Look at that. With standing roundhouse bait into Fierce Shoryu Super, really?
You're at the biggest tournament of the year.
Yes.
And you have the unmitigated gall.
The unmitigated gall.
The unmitigated gall. To go for that? Stand roundhouse into Fierce Shoryu into Super. Not only that, but you had the round one, but you decided to go for a EX Shoryu to lose the round. Most players would never bounce back from that. They got a game 3 to play.
Yes.
He doesn't care. He's he's down.
Yeah, he got bodied this round.
How many players would have came back from
Look at that! Mester's so shook! He activated me Super. You see that?
On like a 2% health Daigo.
Yes.
It just goes to show what type of intimidation he's been, exerting throughout the entire
I mean, it's amazing. Daigo is just in Mester's head. Look at that. Look at that sweep.
That was close range, baby.
I mean, really? And that's the funny thing, too. Daigo's aggressive. Look at that. But he's smart, too. You see that?
Oh, my God.
It's weird. Oh, my God. See? He mind fucks you. He blocked.
Yeah.
And then he did that.
And then he parried. He's like, oh, okay.
I mean, Mester don't want none of this.
Oh, look at that. He's dropped.
He shook. He shook. Look at that. Look at that. Now, see, Daigo's going in now. Oh my God.
That still works.
2015. I think, I don't know. I think he might have tried to. He missed the parry. Oh my God. That's the Daigo. That's the original Daigo.
Round?
Yes.
You go for some shit
like
that.
Really?
This guy's still walking at him.
He doesn't give a fuck. This is the beast, guys. You know, that fool that you saw lost the gamer bee, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not the beast.
Never
This is
seen
the beast.
anybody so happy to lose.
You know, hopefully SF5, knowing the mechanics about the game and stuff, Daigo can play like this.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, I mean, this is just rough. Look at this. Look at this. I mean, this match is close. Oh! It's funny. The match was close, but it didn't seem like it was.
It didn't. And you know what? At the end of the day, he still ended it with a Shoryu.
Yeah, he did. He did. So, those were our favorite EVO matches.
Absolutely.
Or Third Strike matches at EVO. If you guys want to share your favorite Third Strike match at EVO, email us at houseofstrikes@gmail.com. Maybe we'll post it and, you know, give you guys some love, you know.
Absolutely.
But definitely we think that Third Strike needs to be at EVO. So for those of you guys who love the game, whether you got into the game last week or 10 years ago, and you guys are planning to go to EVO, make something happen. Start the conversation, whether it's on Third Strike Junkies or This is Third Strike. Email us. Let's figure it out as a community.
Yep.
How do we get Third Strike back on track?
You guys think you're alone, but you're not alone.
Yeah.
We love it too.
All right, guys. So we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. Guys, welcome to the House of Strikes. Again, my name is Mutant XP, filling in for Nica KO. This is Frankie 3S.
Hello.
With our special guest, the President, Ahmed. So, we're going to end the show in a little bit, but before we do that, I wanted to talk about one last thing. So, as you all know, Gavin, who's appeared in the last few Fight Clubs, is a longtime Third Strike player, and he's actually from the New England area, and he's an old school Third Strike player, and he actually played at this. He actually played at this arcade called Tokyo Game Action, which was in Massachusetts. And for those of you who aren't familiar with Tokyo Game Action, it was one of the meccas of fighting games on the East Coast. Of course, we have CF, we have 8 on the Break, and we also had TGA.
But was that a bowling alley?
Yeah, it was. They had a bowling alley. And
Bitch.
yeah, we have Young Kang,
Young EXO.
and TGA even played host to SBO quals for Third Strike in 2006 and 2007. Now, unfortunately, due to heavy flooding, TGA had to close. But it wasn't long after that a new arcade opened up called Game Underground. And that opened in 2010, and even though they cater mostly to console gaming, they just recently got some Japanese cabs. And one of those cabs runs Third Strike, thanks to old school Third Strike players like Lucky D and Gavin. And so I just wanted to send a shout out to Game Underground for being so gracious enough to host Third Strike. That's actually where Nica is right now. There's a Game Underground tournament, and Nica's, of course, doing that missionary work.
Because he's not picking up the phone.
You know, that's why he's not picking up the phone, because he's busy playing Third Strike.
Got him on the way.
Yo, the Border Patrol. Yo, that's not where the Border Patrol looks for those people, yo. Damn.
Border Patrol.
Damn.
Immigration.
Yeah, playing. You know, you seen that movie, The Bridge? That series, The Bridge, on FX. I started watching it.
Some shit. Some shit. Damn, Lloyd.
Oh, yeah.
Hope he gets back to New York.
I hope so.
No green card?
No green card. No mas.
No mas.
No mas.
You know, I know.
No mas.
Let me not say
No mas.
that.
Too soon. Too soon.
No.
Too soon.
All right.
Like I said, if you want to start a Third Strike scene in your neighborhood, email us. Let us know.
Yep.
Maybe we can help you out. Okay,
knows?
let's join. Start the conversation, because that's what we're trying to do on the East Coast, and maybe we can do it in other places. So shout outs to Gavin for holding it down, even after TGA closed down.
Yep. That's a big,
And
big
trying
loss.
to introduce a new generation of players to Third Strike.
Shout outs to Gavin.
All right. Okay, guys. So, like I said, remember to check out our new bi-weekly sessions
Yep.
at Next Level called The Shelter.
Shelter.
The Shelter. And this is basically the training grounds for the New York Third Strike scene. We're going to be running casuals, doing random events, first to fives, things of that nature. I believe the next shelter will probably be next Thursday. Because, we're doing basically the shelter on Thursday, and then the next week we'll be doing House of Strikes on the weekend, hopefully. So please make sure you check that out. Frankie?
I just really hope that people, who happen to be in the general vicinity of the Carolinas, actually show up after talking all that mess. In response to our talking mess, which is perfectly fine, but please show up to an event and stop, being bitch-made mark-ass fools.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I called you a mark. All of you.
Yeah, it's like, there's no way you talk shit and not show up. That's crazy.
Yeah. Okay.
Fucking pussies.
On that note, we're going to go ahead and end the stream mercifully. So, on behalf of Frankie, 3S,
Hello.
our special guest, El Presidente, Ahmed, this is Mutant XP.
I'm gonna
Signing off.
So.
Signing off till next time. Again, thanks for watching the House of Strikes, and we'll see you when we see you.